On August 6, 2025, Fort Stewart, one of the U.S. Army's largest installations, was thrust into crisis when an Army sergeant opened fire on fellow soldiers. The sergeant shot 5 personnel in quick succession before being tackled and detained. Within minutes, base-wide lockdowns were enacted. Schools, offices, and runways were sealed off, and local emergency responders were activated. All victims were rushed to nearby medical facilities, and officials confirmed they are expected to make full recoveries. The incident stands out for its rare severity within a secure military environment, triggering national attention. Fort Stewart serves as home to the 3rd Infantry Division and houses thousands of service members and their families, amplifying the emotional impact. Within hours, senior officials, military leaders, and Georgia's governor issued statements. Fort Stewart's lockdown was comprehensive, extending to base gates and nearby housing. Schools on and around the base transitioned to virtual learning as a precaution. Military investigators initiated a board of inquiry to examine how the shooter accessed weapons and whether any warning signs were overlooked. In the information age, the event itself became a flashpoint. Social media platforms lit up with eyewitness accounts, photos of emergency vehicles, and phrases like "secure your base" trending in real time. For many Americans, the attack struck home, not as abstract risk, but as an urgent reminder that security breaches can happen even within defended zones. The shooter has been identified as an active-duty Army sergeant assigned to Fort Stewart. While their motive remains unclear, colleagues emphasize that pre-incident behavior didn't raise alarm. The rapid response from fellow soldiers and base MPs likely prevented further casualties and is being called unusually swift and decisive for a high-stress, high-threat scenario. All 5 victims sustained non-life-threatening injuries and are receiving treatment at military medical centers. Officials emphasize that quick triage protocols and on-base trauma facilities likely contributed to their positive prognosis. Military spokespeople have been tight-lipped about the shooter's identity or background, citing privacy and ongoing investigations. However, there is speculation that mental health resources or stress-related issues may need review, as a standard in cases involving internal threats. Neighbors and families have described heightened anxiety. A local family, recounting how their child's school inside the base switched to lockdown protocols, spoke of relief and lingering fear. Mental health professionals are on standby to assist personnel and families grappling with trauma. The shooter is now in custody. The incident has triggered full criminal and psychiatric evaluations, with Army investigators reviewing whether current screening, reporting, and intervention systems are sufficient. Regardless of motive or background, the event exposes vulnerable fault lines, even in highly structured military settings. Within minutes of a shooting, base commanders activated emergency protocols. Barracks were locked down, medical teams and MPs converged, and communication went through secured lines. Nearby units, including 3rd Infantry Division personnel, were placed on heightened alert. Regional military units coordinated to secure airspace and seal off-base perimeters. National Guard units were placed on standby for reinforcement. Meanwhile, Georgia's governor offered full state support, coordinating with military leadership on evacuation readiness and public safety messaging. The civilian-military community braced. Local schools adjusted operations. On-base families huddled for safety information. Community mental health centers offered crisis counseling. Churches and community groups organized vigils and support groups for shock and grief, reinforcing social cohesion. National media coverage emphasized the heroism of soldiers who intervened. The Army Secretary publicly commended them, stating their action absolutely saved lives. Advocacy groups seized the moment to call for better mental health screening and reporting mechanisms within military. Civic leaders also raised questions not of blame, but of system effectiveness. Is there timely communication between Army leadership and supporting services? Are base dependents trained for active shooter emergencies? This incident is prompting a review of base-wide preventive readiness, from school drills to mental health referral avenues. The Fort Stewart shooting forced a broader security conversation. Active shooter preparedness at military installations is undergoing scrutiny. Are health screenings and psychological evaluations robust enough? Recent reports suggest that post-deployment stressors are underreported and understaffed within base health clinics. Some propose mandatory annual threat awareness training, expanded access to anonymous mental health hotlines, and expanded Canvas-style interviews. Others suggest physical security upgrades, reinforced base entry points, automated lockdown doors, and improved weapon storage protocols. Policy discussions have reached the Pentagon staff. A review board has been assigned, tasked with examining internal risk protocols across all U.S. Army installations. This may result in new policies requiring 1. Enhanced access to mental health professionals trained in military trauma. 2. Anonymous peer reporting systems for behavioral concerns. 3. Rapid response drills including families, not just military personnel. 4. Infrastructure upgrades where housing, schools, and administrative buildings interconnect physically. Civil rights experts emphasize that these steps must balance security with privacy and due process. Mental health advocates urge that soldiers must feel safe coming forward, not fear career repercussions. Beyond Fort Stewart, the incident triggers national reevaluation. Congress is taking note, and new legislation may allocate federal grants to base security modernization. Fort Stewart's ranks are being weighed not just for force readiness, but psychologically sustainable defense. Fort Stewart's active shooter incident is a stark reminder that vigilance must be constant, even inside highly secure domains. The soldiers who intervened underscore the power of training and courage. Their actions align with centuries of military valor, but also highlight the human vulnerabilities within discipline systems. This moment invites reflection on prevention, readiness, and community cohesion. It's not just an internal military issue. It's a shared societal responsibility. Family, faith groups, mental health resources, and leadership must act in unison. For service members, the incident may trigger complex emotions: relief, survivor's guilt, renewed anxiety. For families, it's a call for continued transparency and emotional support. For policymakers, it's a mandate to act swiftly and decisively. In the end, Fort Stewart's story isn't about failure. It's about resilience. The base may remain sealed for now, but its lessons must open doors to better preparedness, mental wellness, and infrastructure that protects, not isolates, the brave people who defend us.